So I've disturbed the flow, but I think that was all really interesting. I'm going to have to do it in 2 parts anyway. So
two parts.
Part 2, everybody, possibly. I didn't think we could ramble on for this long.
I get a sequel.
The sequel, yeah.
Is never
Depends.
as good.
If it's had more than 3 views, actually no, 5 views, because one's me, one's you, one's my mum, one's your mum.
Yeah.
Probably one's like a random person.
Some randomer who fell upon it.
Yeah,
doing it
and fell asleep. So there's more than 5 views we're allowed part 2.
In a YouTube whirlpool.
So we talked about being a job interview.
Yeah.
Headshots.
Oh.
Right.
Oh.
So
you're gonna get me. What's gonna happen now? You talk about the Last Jedi haters. What's gonna happen very soon is that we're gonna have a conversation in about a minute. After we've had a conversation about headshots, we're gonna have a conversation about showreels, and then everyone's gonna hate me.
I think we should, because I think there's, do you know what? And this is kind of the reason why I'm doing this YouTube channel, is that like there's a lot of YouTube channels about how to get your showreel, how to do your headshot, how to do all this stuff, and there's an industry out there of people making showreels and all this kind of stuff, and these amazing headshots and like really expensive stuff. And you know what? I want to be the guardian of actors, because they, as we've discovered, they have no control pretty much over the jobs that they get. You have to be a crazy, sensitive, amazing, creative, vulnerable, wonderful person.
But also really strong.
But also really strong, because they have to deal with rejection.
You get rejected
and
all the time.
my God, everyone wants to take their money.
Yeah.
Because they prey on vulnerability. They prey on the dream. Yeah. You know what? And like, we could sit here and talk about being in a big role and stuff. It's like, look, I've directed over 100 commercials, right? Yes, I've done features, but that's how I make my money. That's how I live. That's how the lights are on at my house. Is that by making commercials? Yep. So there's a real interest there. And actors as well. Like everyone wants to, not everyone, maybe some people don't, but I'm saying the general thing is everyone wants to do the big movies and make it and do this thing. It's that. But if you look at the statistics, which I should have written down, it is depressing the percentage of actors that are working at any one time. On television, but also commercials. And you can turn your nose up at commercials if you want to, but if you want to be a working actor, you need to learn how to nail those things. Yep. And obviously there's certain agents that don't like commercials and certain agents that do, I guess so. And there are certain agents that turn commercials down for budget reasons stuff, which is fine.
That's absolutely right.
You're still building a brand, everyone's still building their thing, and not everyone wants to do certain commercials. No. I turn down scripts that I don't believe in, like that I think are misogynistic or insulting or from the
wrong place.
From the wrong place, and anything that I think that. And here we go. This is where you need to have your own set of morals. Like anything that I feel preys on the vulnerable, I could never do a PPI like advert or big credit advert. Yeah. But then I have done credit card commercials, so. It's wafer thin, but I have a moral compass that
me too. And I think, I mean, that you just covered a lot of ground there.
Sorry, I don't know. I went off on a tangent.
But you've covered a lot of ground that I am interested in, and I think you're absolutely spot on. And I've got pretty much everything you said. I was thinking, yes, I've got a point about that. But so I don't know if I'll cover most of what I wanted to. However,
we'll try and remember it.
So I agree entirely with you. I think this industry is kind of, in a weird way, it's not at its strongest at the moment. Right, controversially, there are too many actors, far too many actors. Too many people who want to be an actor for the wrong reasons. Too many people that shouldn't be an actor, and that's not... This is a hard thing to say to someone, because it's like, the problem with acting is, it's like a dream of people. It's like, in some ways, it's like being a footballer. I always wanted to be a footballer. I still kind of weirdly at 43, kind of weirdly dream of being a footballer, right? Mm-hmm. It's ridiculous, obviously. And I've known since I was playing football, 15, that I wasn't going to be a professional footballer. I've always been a good footballer, never good enough. But it's my dream. And I think some people have that about acting. But it takes a level of skill. There is a level of technicality that you need to be a footballer, and it's the same being an actor. So it's a horrible thing to say, and there are too many actors. So there are too many people out there who want to be actors, and what you've said is absolutely bang on. There are too many people out there that are preying on these people. So are charging exorbitant fees. There's something I saw on Twitter the other day about people charging to be part of an agency and stuff like that. And it's just like,
stop it. Stop it.
It's worrying and it's depressing. But it sort of allies with how we are as a society at the moment, being a bit sort of...
Let's get heavy.
Yeah, we're going for it.
Let's
big
go.
Time. But it's like, people want instant gratification. And we're used to it. You know, how it's a cliche, but how annoying is it when you can't get on your webpage and you're like, oh, why is it not working for the 3 seconds? It's not loaded. And it's because we want everything here. We want it now. Our information. And I don't want to put the work in to be a famous actor. I want to be in feature films. Why am I not in feature films? I know what I'll do. I'll go to LA. I'm just going to go to LA and I'm just going to do it. And I'm going to go live in LA. And it's like, the amount of people who have succeeded in this industry from being picked up from oblivion, I mean, it's negligible to the point of probably, I couldn't even give it a percentage because it's so many zeros. There are people, and that's the problem, who it's happened to. Keira Knightley, for example.
You prey on the dream.
But Keira Knightley, I mean, you know, it's not like she didn't have advantages in certain ways. You know, and it always helps who you know and all those types of things. But there's too many people out there who just want instant success. So they are trying to get, and this is where I'm coming to showreels. To me, you shouldn't have a showreel, and I know there's some agents out there, and even some casting directors, I believe, who think that everyone should have a showreel. I, personally, just my personal opinion, don't think you should have a showreel until you've got something to go on that showreel. I think that a showreel is basically an example of your work at its highest level, at a very good level. So though the people that do like the homemade showreels and things like that, and even if the people that go to professionals for it, I just think it looks obvious that that's not a real job. Yeah. I think get a job where you've got 2 lines on Casualty, on Holby City, on EastEnders, on Coronation Street. I'd much prefer...
And you nail that.
Much prefer to see that as the only thing that you send me.
Yeah.
This is what I've got as my showreel.
Set in a park with some actors.
How many times have I seen a showreel where people are crying, shouting, waving a gun around, being murdered, being abused, being
and that's the thing. That's not what it's about. Like, you know, if you get to that point, then fine. But like, you need to do the
most jobs. You don't get to wave a gun around. Most jobs you don't get to scream and shout. Most jobs you don't get to cry. Most acting jobs are you walking into a room, saying something in a very normal way, and then probably at the start of your career, walking out of that room, right? That's how that's this industry, unfortunately. Like, or doing, and that's for screen. So that's kind of what we need. I just want to see, a showreel is useful to see what you look like when you're moving. I would never, and no one ever should, cast anyone just from a showreel.
Yeah, God, no.
You want to see them in person. No. So your showreel might get you in a room. But if I'm doing a commercial, I get like 1,000 suggestions for a role. I'm not going to look through 1,000 showreels. I just haven't got the time. I'll be honest with you.
And like, you're not exaggerating when you say 1,000.
I'm not exaggerating at all.
Now, obviously, there's people screaming and probably in the comments right now saying, but like, how do you get started if you don't have a showreel? No, but like, people say, well, I want to do something. I'm an actor. I want to, you know, I'm being sensible. I want to, you know, I'm a business, I'm a brand. I want to make a show what I can do. You know, so there's people that are saying that, and that's what these companies can prey on for that reason. But I would always say, well, then go and do a short film.
Absolutely.
Like, instead of, because like, it's not real for you to shoot a special scene from a showreel for a thing, because you're not really working with a director that's going to put you through the paces in that way, and it's not like a real environment, because a lot of acting is not just about what you do on screen. It's how you react when there's 60 people all staring at you and you're on a set and you've got to nail the performance. Like, there's a heck of a lot of stuff that comes with that.
Or as you say, getting short film, but also, you know, let's not forget theatre.
Yeah.
Do plays. Do plays. Get to know people. Get out there. And again, I am very lucky, right? Very lucky, because I was an actor and I started making films with my friends and stuff like that. And some of them were all right. And you know, we had one on BBC Three once. Exciting. But, you know, I did theatre from the age of 12 all the way through to my 30s, early 30s, before I started being a casting director. I was still an actor. up until the point I got the job, and then I had to stop because it just, for me, it felt like a conflict.
Yes.
But
listening to that, people.
Yeah, sad times. I don't think it's a loss to the acting industry.
No, but what I'm saying is there are certain casting directors out there that auto act.
Are there?
Yeah. Do you know this?
I don't know. Don't want to say anything.
No, there are, and I know of them, and I think it's wrong and weird.
I just don't want to say anything. But the... So, yeah.
Sorry,
but then,
change your flow.
No, but that's good. But then I was lucky and worked really bloody hard on it, actually. I managed to set up my own theatre company because I wanted to do some acting. So I literally did it. And it's like, it was something that I just thought, I want to act. No one is giving me any acting work. I am going to put a play on. And so I put a play on, found a location, did work for like a year to put it on, did it. First play did not go down very well. It went down, it was all right what we did, but it wasn't, not many people came to see it and stuff. But then we put on another play, and now we're putting on plays, the last play we did at the National Theatre. Right, that is a particularly lucky situation.
But people might look at you,
thing.
But going back to that instant gratification, people might look at that and go, oh, this is a new theatre company, and they're doing something at National, why can't I do that? It's like, because these guys have been doing it for a decade.
Yeah, it's not.
And and before I directed my first commercial, I've made... I don't know how many short films and stuff, and been a runner and worked up the industry and stuff. And the whole thing about it takes 10 years to be an overnight success, which sounds like such a cliche. In this industry, it is so true.
Even as a casting director, I didn't start as a casting director by going, all right, now I'm a casting director, and now I'm going to take castings. I worked as a casting assistant, and I worked my first few castings. I wasn't even in the room, obviously. I was sitting outside marking people off. Oh, you here for the casting? Yeah, bye. And by that, I learned how this process works, and I luckily learned under someone who's really good at, what she did and the organisational side of things, and I learnt the right things, the right sort of techniques, I think, for how it started. And then throwing in little bits that you learn along the way from different directors that you work with. I worked behind the camera for quite a while, and that is really interesting.
Invaluable experience.
You must see some things
so much stuff
in commercials, and then you almost learn what not to do from certain people, casting directors and directors, what to do.
I'd love to be him for a few days to see other directors doing their job.
Exactly.
It's really interesting.
I'd find it interesting.
The variety of casting directors, the variety of directors, the variety of actors in one room.
Yes.
Literally sometimes one day.
Yes.
It's astonishing.
It's amazing. And that comes back to the subjectivity.
Oh, there's no one waiting, right? Is anyone waiting for our casting?
I will let you know.
You wave.
It's subjective, and it's but it also takes different personalities. And I'm not saying, I would never suggest that my way is the only way, but my way is the one that works for me, and it's the one that my business is based upon, is the way that I run castings. And I change with different directors. I work differently. If I've got a director who wants to come in and do it in a different way and just wants me to sit back and not say anything, I will sit back and what we call air hostess, which is basically I bring actors in.
I don't feel like I air hostess with you.
No. We have a slightly different relationship. We have a different relationship because we know each other as well. We have a different relationship, and we've worked numerous times. But if it was the first time I'd ever worked with you, but also you're kind of a smiley, nice, warm, very warm person. But so I can sort of look. Let's be honest, right? This is going to sound horribly arrogant, right? The reason I am good at my job is because of two reasons. One, I'm good with people, and two, I think I'm I'm very perceptive. So I think, and of course you're always wrong in life, that I can tell what most people in the rooms thinking on generally what they're thinking, how happy they are, how confident they are, how they feel when actors come in. I sort of look at them and I can sort of sense, and it's like, I'm not saying a sort of weird thing, because a lot of people have that ability, and it's about being good at interpersonal skills. And so, which is why I preempted this by saying I'm not being arrogant, because I'm aware that if I just suddenly piped up with what I've literally just said there, it would have sounded arrogant had I not precluded it with.
Unless I used this at the start of the
And
video.
some people out there are probably thinking, oh well, he said I'm not being arrogant, but he does sound like an arrogant person.
No, I don't think it sounds arrogant. I think it's like the perfect skill for casting, because you need to be in tune with people and their performance.
You've
that's
got
not just these guys; it's these guys.
But that's what you need as well.
Yeah,
Because as a director, you
which
need
is
to
why
be in
I
tune
need
with.
to talk to the people.
You need to be in tune with actors face to face, but you also need to be aware of your client who is telling you something, and also aware of your crew who are also telling you something, and you have to play. It's like it's a football manager. I always bring everything in life. I bring back to football, and I know you're not a football fan.
No, but I'm going to nod along.
I bring everything back to football.
No.
It's like being a football manager. And my first ever play I directed, I did Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are Dead. I was 23, and I did it as a piece of theatre in the Northeast. And I did an interview with a local paper, the classic local paper interview. And I remember saying, I equated it at that time to being a football manager. And I even talked about, you send them onto the pitch, the actors onto the pitch, and you can't cross the white line, and there's nothing you can do. And once they've gone up there, and I literally, this entire analogy about being a football manager and associated with the director, and I still think it's true. It's still about people management and about people relationships, and it's about knowing that your director, you might be the Cristiano Ronaldo of the do you know who he is?
Is that a good thing?
It's a good thing, but also,
yes.
you've got to treat him in a certain way. Whereas, a different footballer who might be quieter but just listens, or someone who needs a lot of praise, or someone who needs a bit of a sterner. I don't even know of any footballers, but you get the idea. But that's the point. I think it's about being intuitive with other people, and so the crux of my business is: can I, in a room, be aware of what's going on and then try and bend it to make sure everyone's okay and happy and doing the work.
The thing for me as well is that even though sometimes I'll come in and run a session and talk to the actors because that's how I feel that I need to engage, as knackering and as tiring that is, I come in, I try and be the same energy level for every single person, I almost say pretty much the same things. Because it's kind of, then it almost feels like a fair test.
Jokes.
The same jokes.
Not just you, I mean...
No, we do that all the time.
You hear yourself all the time going,
but the
cameraman's going...
Yeah, I know, but it works because it's all about... It's a show.
Yeah.
We're putting on a kind of show to relax the people in the room, and that sounds really manipulative. Actually, it's for your own benefit.
It's what the actors need.
Yeah. The amount of people... Some people come in, you have a laugh, and they go... and actually... and it sounds, I'm going to be arrogant, I've lost count the amount of actors that leave our auditions say that was really good fun, and that's how it should be. And
that's the feedback that you get from that. I did a casting on last Friday. Was the clients? There was 10 clients in the room, which is too many.
That's too many,
Phil.
That's too many.
And the clients at the end of the casting were like, that was such a great session. Thanks, Martin, for doing that session. And I just loved how you kept the energy up for the last one. And I was surprised that they needed to even mention that, because that is my job. I mean, literally, if I didn't keep the energy up until the last person, the last person should, and it's difficult with humans, of course, but the last person should get the same treatment as the first person. Yeah. And you should be warm and open with all of the people and keep your energy up. And as you say, you do use the same jokes and stuff, because if it works and you find a phrase, I find that my casting pitch, if you like, what I say to the actors changes through an entire day, because I keep on, my brain is still thinking. You refine and I go, I hadn't thought of that today. And then I thought, I'm saying stuff and I've given this piece of direction and actually they've taken it off there. I'm going to stop using that. Yes. And sometimes, I know, my biggest fault as a casting director is I talk too much. And I give too much information. Biggest fault as a director, same thing. And people say, come in and be succinct, only say a few things, and all the directing advice is do this. But you know what? I find that very hard, because I don't have any. I don't have any. As the audience will acquaint. Because I find that difficult to think of the exact actors
active verb to tell someone to give them performance, because also that person's not a robot. So sometimes you just need a little bit of talk, and sometimes it goes too far, and I can do that, you know.
Oh, it happens.
And you look at that, you give this information, and you just see that
They're like that.
they're shaking but nodding
No
at the
idea.
same time.
No idea what you're talking about, mate.
And then usually I call myself up on it and go, "I'm sorry, that was crap. Let's go back to basics." But
that's one of my top notes that I give myself is I often say to actors, I'm going to give you a piece of direction, right? It's not very good. Don't sort of take it, but sort of take it. So I want you to do, and then I say something, and then they go, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I'm going, well,
let's see.
try it, and then I'll go,
But that's why
no.
I want actors to know that it's not a test.
Oh,
There is, there's no right answer.
No.
In a casting, for me, is that sometimes I don't know like what the actual minutiae of the performance should be.
No.
It's because you know what, and I'm sorry, actors, and thank you for every single hundred actors that have done it.
I love actors.
Like in a room, at the end of the day, I know exactly how I'm going to do the scene because I've seen 100 people do it, and like that's part of the process.
I often will say to the first people in, I'll go, look, sorry, you're my guinea pigs.
I say exactly.
I'm going to work with you now.
Yeah.
And then I'll do something, and they'll do it right, and I'll go, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know if it was going to work, and you've made it work.
Yeah.
I love actors.
Yeah.
I honestly do.
And,
Obviously,
by the way,
my partner is one, but I love them because
I love them.
They're just so. They're so committed.
Yeah.
And I know I've been negative about some things about actors, but I actually do. Anyone who wants to be an actor is a, I mean, it's such a difficult job. It's, we're not going down mines. I hate that. People say, oh, it's not, it's the hardest job in the world. It's not the hardest job in the world.
No.
But emotionally and commitment-wise,
it's a hard skill.
It is a skill. It's a difficult thing to do. And so I really appreciate every single, as you say, every single actor that comes into a room. I appreciate that they've taken the time, because you don't get paid for castings, to come in and do all of that stuff, and it's sometimes very thankless, and so thank you.
Yeah, so thank you everyone that has auditioned. You've made it all better.
Yes.
You
put bread on the table.
The
What are you going to say?
No, just got a lot there. I had a few things to say, but
That's right.
pause.
Actor.